Hey guys, and welcome back to more World of Guns Gun Disassembly. Today we're doing the Walther P38, which is another World War II era pistol. It was developed, obviously by the Wehrmacht, or Germany in World War II. Or sorry, not the Wehrmacht, the Wehrmacht. Sometimes I say Wehrmacht, but that's what I said when I was a kid. It's Wehrmacht. But anyway, so it was designed to replace the costly Luger. The Luger was quite expensive to produce, so this was supposed to fix it. So it had several revisions and modifications, but it ultimately did begin production in the 40s. So it's a very simple field strip. Barrel comes right out of the slide. Slide comes right on, and the locking caster slides right there. So it takes apart really easy if you want to clean it for field stripping purposes. So hop into the assembly. I guess the only other thing is it's really only made for one cartridge. They tried creating it for different cartridges, but in the end they just kept it with 9mm. So we'll move the magazine assembly. Remove the slide, and yeah, it's this little catch right there. Let you remove it. Move the takedown belt. Oops. So I have to go in here. Okay, you have to go there to remove the takedown plunger. It's fine. Okay, now let's actually disassemble the gun itself. So pull out the barrel. Move the front sight. It's kind of funny, sometimes they call it the front sight blade, and sometimes they just call it the front sight. But I guess the blade is just if you move the blade, not the whole piece. But let's put that out. So, locking block, unlocking pin, block retainer. Okay. So now we are to move here. Slide cover. Right. Oh, okay, you could better off click it up right there, the extractor. Extractor plunger. Rear sight. Firing pin safety. Neat that the firing pin safety is right under the rear sight. Firing pin retainer. Cartridge indicator. Nope. Oh, I actually clicked on the firing pin spring. We're going to pull the firing pin out. Then we can move the spring, the safety lever. I click on that from here. This is a lot of pieces that are kind of hard to click on. Oh, okay, that's where it is, just underneath there. Safety lift plunger. Okay, neat. Cartridge indicator spring. Line 107, which is just probably for gripping, I'm sure. Left grip, right grip, magazine catch, hammer strut, main spring, the sear. Okay, you can put a sear spring up quite early. Hold up and latch. Hold the left recoil spring guide. Right recoil spring guide. Left recoil spring. Right recoil spring. I guess we have to go above again. Takedown plunger spring. Trigger bar spring. I guess we could pull out those. I don't know how to say it works, but they're pretty much just washers, they look like. So move the trigger bar, sear pivot pin, pull off the ejector, pull off the hammer pin, hammer, double lever action assembly, hammer release, firing pin safety lever, sear, trigger. No. Oh, you have to pull out the bushing and then you can pull out the spring. Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. So, move the sear spring there. And we got one piece we're missing. Oh, okay. And you can move the spring for the trigger bar spring. Okay. Neat. Pretty cool. That's a more complicated pistol than most though. But because all these little springs, a lot of little springs you'd have to manufacture for this pistol. Let's do some highlighting as well, just so I know. There's a lot of stuff. This is a pretty difficult gun to do the game modes on. Take a lot of practice. Let's put that together now. Gotta try, even though we're on highlight, let's try and put stuff together in kind of the order we took it out, just so we have at least some idea of how we did things. So, okay. So, firing pin safety lever, sear, trigger spring, trigger bushing, trigger, ejector, hammer, sear pivot pin, mainspring, trigger bar, open latch, left recoil spring guide, right recoil spring guide, hammer strut, trigger bar spring, sear pin spring, hammer release, pivot pin, magazine catch, left grip, right grip, grip plate screw, line 107. I can't take that out later, but okay. Fine, front sight, block retainer, locking block, unlicking pin, extractor plunger, extractor, safety index plunger, safety lever, cartridge indicator spring, firing pin spring, cartridge indicator, firing pin retainer, firing pin safety. Once the safety's on, you can put it back on the rear side. Sight's back on, you can put it back on the side cover. Slide cover's back on, you can put it back in the barrel. I'm gonna turn the slide. And put the magazine, so it's not hard with highlighting, but it's pretty much like a coloring book, so. It's a pretty difficult gun though. Yeah, it's hard, so. Hard gun with 65 parts, that's pretty low. Like some of the hard guns, like 119. What's another hard gun? Oh, what's it? Okay, yeah, Ruger's pretty easy, but Super Red Hot 77. So I think the Super Red Hot's harder though than this one. Yeah, it has more parts, but anyway, doesn't really matter. Hop into the operation. I get here so you can see the markings. So. Kind of a, I don't know, I guess it's the same slide action, it just looks different because of how the gun is designed. But take a couple shots off. Perfect. But we'll hop into seeing how it works. Okay, so let's come into our slow motion. Okay, so our trigger's here, trigger bar's here. So I'm guessing the trigger's gonna be pulled, the trigger bar's gonna pull the release here, and then the release will release the thing. So pulling back, let go of the release. Hammer hits the firing pin hits the center fire, which triggers the bullet. I guess you could even go as far as say it triggers the primer, which triggers the gunpowder, which creates gas in the bullet, which pushes the bullet out. Really want to be fancy, but yeah, trigger pulls back the trigger bar, pulls back the release, and fires. And then the spring action is what cocks, the slide action is what cocks it, which is caused by the spring. So if you hadn't figured this out and have watched previous videos, so the recoil from the bullet coming out charges this spring here, okay? So the spring takes that energy as it hits, and it causes the slide to go back, okay? That spring is holding that energy, so that when it hits the end, it pushes back and loads the next round. So it's cock the gun. See, if you push, this one has an external hammer, but if you look, when we fire, so the gun comes uncocks, the hammer comes back, but when the slide comes back, it cocks the hammer again, and it clicks into place, and so that's the cocking action that we're talking about. So that is how she works. And I guess the only other thing is you can put different grips on it. But pretty much any pistol you can put different grips on it. Okay, they just have the like polyurethane grips. The safety, oh, it's on the side? Oh, safety on, off. This is the first gun I've ever seen that on, but I was right, the safety is here. So, but anyway, and then as always, you can unload it. So anyway guys, thanks for coming out for the P38. It's a pretty interesting World War II era pistol. I hope you enjoyed. Later guys.